Good morning, folks. Good morning. Good morning to you, and welcome to FYI. We trust that you all are great. We really trust that you all are well. Welcome to FYI. For your information, for those of you who might be new to our program, FYI for your information, and it's great to see to see you guys are here. We're going to bring you guys up to speed. Some of what happened over the weekend, some of what's happened this morning, and perhaps what is to come as well. Great to see each and every one of you. We are delighted that you folks are here, and one of the pluses of having a live program like this is that we get to see all you beautiful folks like June Gilbert and Fratia Phillips and Maxine Monroe, Fennel Innes, Chevron McDonald, Debbie Collins. Good morning to each and every one of you. Wherever you folks are joining us from, we are happy that you guys are here. We hope that you guys have had a good weekend. You got in some me time. And now you guys are here. Mark Allman and Shane Blackman. We see all of you guys, and we are happy that you folks are joining us. Wherever in the world you guys are joining us from, we know that some of you are joining us home here in Guyana, where we're broadcasting live from the national capital city, and we know quite a few of you as well are joining us. Quite a few of you are joining us from the diaspora, and we are thankful for that. Wherever you're joining us from, great to have you here, Maxine Monroe and Joy Hopkinson. Good to have you, Nicola Fordyce, and all the other folks who are joining us. We are delighted. Petrol Thorne, Orwin Don Cook is here as well. Great to see you, Orwin Don, and Elizabeth Kuru. Good to have you, Elizabeth, and all the other guys who are joining us. We are more than delighted that you folks are here. What are you guys having for breakfast this morning? I got a cup of, what is this? An ordinary cup of plain tea bag. Lipton is my choice this morning. And it's as hot as I love it to be. Hot, hot, hot. But good to see you guys are here. Wendy Caesar, we see you there as well. Great to see you, Wendy, and all the other guys who are joining us. We're just making sure we have all the tools we need for this morning broadcast. But good to see you there, Kevin Still Life. Good to have you, Mona Monroe, Julian Mars. Good to have you, Samoa Williams, and all the other guys who are joining us. Good to see you there, Samoa, Annette Cummins. We see you as well, Mornis Toby. I see you there, Samoa, Annette, Beatrice, Out Front Parts. We see you as well. Great to have you guys here with us. Good to have you guys here with us. Rhonda Gordon, we see you. Gloria Fraser, Gloria Chester, let me call it one time. Gloria Fraser is here. Gloria Chester, Maureen, Lena Williams, good to have you. Good to have all of you guys. Dolly Anderson, Lionel Simon. I'm calling out for memory folks who I know always on the live. Seeing some other folks are here with us. Lionel is here with us. Simon, Debbie Collins, and all you other folks who are here with us. We are delighted that you folks are joining us. We're going to make a move to get into the morning papers. Some of what we're pulling up over the weekend, guys, some of that. And we are, again, as I said, we are very, very delighted that you folks are here with us. We got a lot of stuff we're covering from the morning papers, some of the headlines. Those of you who are new to our program, some of the headlines we're going to be pulling out from the morning papers. We're going to be touching on some of what's happening internationally in the region, and then we're going to circle back after some more information happening on the home front. And so, guys, if you guys are ready, we're fired up, we're ready to go, and we're happy that you folks are here with us. And guys, as we're coming on, we're getting some news that there was an accident earlier this morning on the Linden-Soesdijk Highway. And they said a car turned over there on the Linden-Soesdijk Highway. Believe it or not, we always say here, slow down so we can arrive alive. And they say arrive alive together. And that's why we're picking up. First up this morning, they said there are no reports of fatalities, but of course, injuries to the driver and passengers there as that car flipped over, turned over on the Linden-Soesdijk Highway. And we're really happy. It could have been worse, could have been a lot worse, but we can take a few injuries over fatalities any day. Folks, slow down. This new week, slow down a little bit so we can arrive alive. Do let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear, guys, with the audio. Do let us know. I know sometimes you all get caught up in the chit chat and the live. you all forget about us. I understand, but do let us know if you're hearing the audio loud and clear. Annette Cummins, we see you there. Janet James and all the other folks, and we're picking that up as we come on this morning. Yep. That's one of the things we are tracking this morning. But good to have you folks here with us. Good to have each and every one of you here with us, wherever you guys are joining us from. Delighted that you guys are here with us. Delighted. Good to see you guys. Yep, we're going to make a start of it, folks. Letting you guys know some of the stuff we are tracking, some of the headlines that we are tracking. And do let us know what you guys are having for breakfast. Dolly says loud and clear, and Carol and Siobhan McCalman, Steph, Liverpool. Good morning to you too. And Anne-Marie Selby, Simone Williams, and all the other folks joining us. We are delighted. I'm trying not to slurp. It is very hot. I'm trying not to slurp. One of the things I see in the morning papers is yesterday's paper, I think it was, that Ralph Ramkaran column, and Ralph Ramkaran from the political party, Anug. Interesting, and he's trying to tell Mr. Norton which political platform he should step on. But last Anug had a public meeting. A lot of paper parties in this country. Well, last, you saw Anug in the streets, right? Mr. Ralph Ramkaran. Last I remember, got a nice cushy job as an advisor on something with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Advisor on borders or something of that sort. And he, from his creature comfort, he's trying to advise Mr. Norton which platforms he should go on. Quite interesting. Naomi Drucker, we see you there. We see you, Naomi, and all the other folks, Seymour George and Shauna Fortune, Carol Jacobs, all the other beautiful folks joining us. We see you. We see you all. We see you all. I wish I could look straight ahead and see all the comments. We gotta look to the side. We gotta look down based on how the comments flowing. Ralph, again, trying to tell PNC in particular, which stage Mr. Norton should ascend and descend. Strangest things. Some people might say stranger than fiction. I think this is our current headline. I think this morning the guys put up the Starbucks News, the Starbucks News cover first, and this is the current one. That's the front one. That's the cover there. And first up, guys. This is one of the things we're tracking. First up, this 4.1 billion fraud case. Money laundering. You remember the Horstelling family? Is it the Ramnarines? The family was refused bail again. But one of the things that really struck people with this case, Maureen and Isabel and Jennifer, it seems as though it's small fish. Always getting caught in the net is these small fish. This little family couldn't be moving 4.1 billion by themselves. Has Soko taken up the offers of the Chinese embassy to help them pursue some other folks in this matter? The reporting suggests that about 12 Chinese company, or 12 companies in China received money as part of these transactions. But yet we see only this family. Who else was involved? And it's quite interesting. This case came to light right as the current administration was putting forward a framework for, I think, revising the countering and financing of terrorism act. Some kind of upgrading to that, and trying to bolster its credentials on fighting money laundering. But it's only this family. We see nobody else. That's the tragedy we have here. It's only the family we see. Nobody else can come into front. So who am pulling out? Nobody else. Just the family alone. Just the family alone. And from what we can see, this is not a family of any kind of significant means. So who are the real intellectual authors? That's a good question. Donald Brandt, Gwendolyn Alonzo. Who are the real intellectual authors? Only time will tell. Or Soku. Only time or Soku will tell. This is another headline we're following, guys. Another headline. Food terminal awaiting approval from Barbados Town Country Planning. This is part of bringing down the food import bill, the Caribbean food import bill, CARICOM food import bill, right? And you remember this was an agreement, I think, between FYI and Mia Motley, and all is part of that. Well, as a follow-up to that, this food terminal that Barbados undertook to construct, right? Still waiting the red light from officials there in Barbados. And this, folks, has an eerie similarity to the promise made to the fishermen on the quarantine for those licenses. You know, Santoki knew he had to go home and ratify that agreement. You know, and Irfan told the fishermen, if it's good as done, we boys Santoki got it. Our boys Santoki got it. Well, not so. The folks still holding. We're still holding for this food terminal. You know, by Barbados. Mayor says it's pending the Town Country Planning approval. Wow. Wow. It looks a little tingish, eh? It looks a little tingish. Naomi and all the others joining us, it looks a little tingish. But I can tell you, Lynn Fernandez, good to see you. Lynn, I called your name earlier and that of Lena as well. Good to see you on the live, Lynn. Naomi Druck is here, St. Romain and Dorrit David. Rondo Gordon's on the live as well. You know how we see it? We on the live. Good to have you folks. Good to have you folks on the live. Great to have each and every one of you. Dorrit and Naomi. I see Lynn is with us and all the other guys who are joining us. Privilege to have you all on the live. Shirley Juicy Tendry, Sonia Massey Cobb is here as well. So we're holding. Folks, we're holding for that food terminal. We are in a holding pattern for the food terminal. Look at us we're following. Gaisuko, folks, since this administration came into office in this new iteration, they've pumped already 30 months, 31 months. They've pumped about $35 billion into Gaisuko. They pumped about $31 billion into Gaisuko, believe it or not. Right? Believe it or not. And now they're telling us that Gaisuko has set one of its lowest targets ever. Right? One of its lowest targets ever. For the first crop, they're only anticipating 16,000 tons. Right? Last year, first crop was 20, and that was a low target. Last year's first crop was 20,000 tons of sugar. This year, first crop, 16. And then boys telling us Valletta, sugar coming back, you know, and they opening back estates. Valletta Klein and Greg Anderson, Samuel Williams, Edward Brooms, sugar coming back. Some folks asking where? 16,000 tons. Folks, this is now, we're now running a charity, right? Because of the cost of production. If you're spending 35 billion, not million, billion with a capital bill, $1 billion in the sugar industry over a 31-month period, and first crop you're aiming to produce 16,000 tons of sugar, it's a charity you're running. You're giving it away. Right? It's a charity. You think the Barbadian people would allow that? I think Fitzherbert Jarrett says it accurately. Sugar dead. Fitzherbert said it accurately. Sugar dead. Sugar dead. 16,000 tons. Now, this is not stuff you see on the front page or Chronicle on a Monday morning like this, the 20th day of March. No. You're not going to see it in Chronicle. DPI ain't carrying no story on this. Chronicle front page? No, it's not going to be a Chronicle front page. DPI, NCN? No. This story ain't going there. But we're thankful for the other media houses like Starbucks News and so on, who are also on the forefront. You know, it's get a little basically 1 or 2 times. But who doesn't? Who does not? 16,000 tons. We're giving away sugar. Tell me. You know, we're giving away sugar now. 16,000 tons. And then come and parse that, you know. And here now, they can go back to APNU. Or is APNU? God is producing 16,000 tons. And you all have the thing for 30 months. Desires of sugar. We're going to make sugar great again. Well, how it going? 16,000 tons. That's one of the headlines we're following this morning. 16,000 tons. And how are they going for we? How are they looking for us? Good folks, how is that looking for us? 16,000 tons. Wow. Waiting to hear Zulfikar explicate on that. Clarify, enunciate on that. 16,000 tons. Yeah, that's how we're looking. Look at us recovering, folks. Headlines, folks, those of you new to our program, that's what we're touching on. Headlines we see in the morning papers. Headlines. Government to continue assistance to Venezuelan refugees and migrants. This is what Tom is saying. Folks, some people right here catching retail and we can't get no assistance. The folks say charity begins at home. Right here, we there. You know? The bus discharge right now, collarbone showing, jawbone right there. About to make a break for it. Right here, people catching the tail. Them boys gone. I'm happy. We must help, you know, the rest of humanity. And, you know, trying to covet half of our country apart and aside, trying to covet half of our country apart and aside, we gotta do better for our people. I'm happy we're helping the Venezuelans, you know, notwithstanding they're trying to covet half of our country. Claim very strongly that it is there. That aside, that aside, you know, I'm happy. I'm happy that we're helping where we can. That's one of the headlines we're following. I am happy. Tremendously happy. Let me grab some papers from yesterday. Let me grab some papers from yesterday and come back to you, good folks. I'm superbly happy that we're helping the guys. Couldn't ask for better. I'm happy. Ecstatic we're helping our Venezuelan brothers and sisters. But the guys would tell us charity begins at home. Right? The Venezuelans themselves would tell us that. Now, in yesterday's papers, in yesterday's Pipers, John Jones, you know, I saw an interesting story. You know that meeting with those engagements rather with that congressional team of the Ways and Means Committee of the U.S. Congress. Well, there was a reception. There was a reception on Friday evening. You know, folks get to go and doll up and so on and look nice and smell nice and you know, see all the right things. They can photo up. That's what the administration likes. They like the photo up, right? But I'm still on charity begins at home and, you know, start committing to continued assistance to the Venezuelans. I wish they would commit, not continue to commit. They would commit to certain villages and communities in this country, for equitable distribution of wealth. The same way we could commit to the Venezuelan refugees and displaced people. We could commit to them. Here is Sarah Lynch in this publication. U.S. Ambassador stresses contract sanctity and need for improved lives of all Guyanese. I love that. Help our Venezuelan brothers and sisters by all means, even though they claim to more than half of our country, and it's the prime lands, the prime lands. Here what Lynn says in this piece here. All right? Here what Lynn says in this piece. Let me make sure I get it right, because I found it very, very, very fascinating. Lynn says that while there are still challenges, we believe that meaningful discussions and continued inclusivity, right? Meaningful discussion and continued inclusivity can foster solid relationships and craft solutions to meet shared challenges. We encourage the government to keep striving towards transparency and accountability, she says here, and fairness to improve the quality of life of all Guyanese, right? We must get transparency, accountability, and fairness to improve the lives of all Guyanese. And that's why I said, some we catch you with tail right here, Edward Jacobs, Yolanda Thomas, and it comments, we catch him with tail. And while I'm happy to see we have so much love for the Venezuelans and their cause, I would love to see more communities get access to our wealth. We can have 30 more oil discoveries. It wouldn't do us nothing. It wouldn't help us in any way, because we've had 30 to date. Is your life better off? 30 oil discoveries. We're pumping oil. We're spending oil money. 30. Is your life better off than it was before oil? Is your life better off than it was before we start pumping oil? Is it better off? You can answer that question for yourself. So again, while I am happy, superbly happy, that we're reaching out to our Venezuelan brothers and sisters on a humanitarian level, perhaps, just perhaps, we need a little more charity at home. We need a little more charity at home, perhaps. Final headline. Again, when we looked yesterday and saw, well, rather over the weekend, the amount of young people that turn out for that job fair at Teleperformance, you understand where we are with joblessness among our young people. You see, there's just a small little thing at the top, getting the hog. And y'all might tell the truth. You might not like my politics, but you're feeling the squeeze as well. You know you're feeling the squeeze as well. So don't come wrong with funny. Isabella Butchers, Donna and Jylin, Joy Hopkinson. We see you guys out there. We see you folks. We're going to turn our attention to some of what guys we're tracking internationally, some of what we're tracking in the region, and some of what we're tracking locally as well. And do let us know what you guys are having, for breakfast. We got to see him trying with him. It's little black tea. We'll see that thing a little while, a little milk and so on. See, that's luxury these days in these parts. It's luxury, folks. Boris Johnson is back in the news, just like Trump. Trump says they're going to arrest him tomorrow, and he called for protests. Trump is a gift like air fun, like Boris Johnson. He's a gift that keeps on giving. Boris Johnson, though, is still in the hot seat for Partygate. You all remember that? The very thing that dislodged him from his prime ministership there in Great Britain. He has to face questionings on that. And there are folks who are saying that should he be found guilty, he should step down as a member of parliament. That's what the folks are saying. He should step down as a member of parliament if he's found guilty. What do you guys think? He should step down. In Britain, the different, little partying deposed Boris Johnson. If little partying could do that here, the whole government dismissed, Whole government will be dismissed. Right? So he's being urged to tell the truth when he appears before that commission. Not saying that he practically lied in some aspects of what he said early on. We're going to continue to track that, folks. We're going to continue to track that. Look what else we're following internationally. Internationally, this is the week China is meeting with Russia in Russia. So Xi Jinping, they tell us, if he hasn't touched down already, he's on his way to Russia. And this relationship used to look like an equal one. But more and more, Xi Jinping looking like he pulling some strings here. The way that Trump used to look next to Putin? You remember that kind of relationship? This is what this one looking like now. Putin looks like he's a small man here. It's strange. Putin on his own is a commanding figure. But when he stands next to the shrewd Xi Jinping, you're making it. So we're going to look to see how this pans out during the course of the week. But this is one of the things we're following. Xi Jinping is on his way to Russia. And nationally as well, Thailand has an election coming up in May, is it? In May, right? In May. And this young lady, Pei Chang-chern, is leading in the polls. Her father used to be prime minister in Thailand. Is it prime minister? Yeah, I think it's prime minister in Thailand. Her aunt, Thailand has a mix of a military, government. They also have a royal family, and they have a civilian, government as well. The military overthrew her father. Pei Chang-chern overthrew her father, and now she's vying, and she has a very, very commanding lead. If the polls are anything to be believed, and the folks there are really taking a liking to her. And some of the commentary we heard say that there's lots of unfinished business that her father and her aunt would have started in their iterations of governance in Thailand. And so folks kind of have their hopes high. Folks have their hopes very high that Pei Chang-chern can do exactly that, can bring home the goods. And they have been turning out to rallies and really, what's the term? Really getting to know her. I think they like she too. So this is in May, and this is one that we're watching. Because the military in Thailand got away, like, since you can't dance to their tune, they step in and overthrow the government. And then there's a royal family there too. There's a royal family there too. As a matter of fact, the administration that is currently in is a military one. It's a leftover from when the last government was deposed. So I hope that she got a plan B for that. I hope Pei Chang-chern has a plan B for that, because they say a good predictor of future behavior is past one, and with the kind of military regime that they got, something else. Talking about military regimes, last week, locally here in Guyana, we saw the military come out and say that they are apolitical. Yesterday, them boys kicking ball in the Cherry Dragon Memorial Football Competition there in Region 1. I hear some people say that Brigadier Best Chief of staff got to pick a struggle because like he knows what he want to do. You want me in politics or not? Pick a struggle. Pick a struggle. Right? But I guess when you're kissing up, you got to kiss up. You got to kiss up. The military here in Thailand is one to watch in the next coming months. In the next coming months. And she's a looker too. Payton turn of Thailand vying to form the next government. And most of the headline says that her party is most likely, right? Unless the military gets stupid. Unless the military gets stupid. But we're going to watch that, folks. We're going to watch that. Thailand. Yep. Things we're following in the Caribbean, folks, in the region. Things we are following in the region. You see when you go, who got money, they say. Who got money, got bargain. Who got money? They got bargain. This is one of the things we are following, one of the stories we're following regionally. One of the stories we are following regionally takes us in this direction, folks. You all know the BVI is a British territory. Right? It's a British territory. Well, one of the millionaire holiday seekers there, you know, got some ties back home in Britain. Right? Got some ties. You know, the people who got links, money is don't get bargain. But he crashed his boat into some folks. Into their boat. One of the persons died as a result of that. And folks in the BVI are very concerned that it took a very long time to bring charges against him. One, some of the documents in the cases, some of the documents in the case have gone missing. And so this issue here, this matter, this case, got a cloud, a dark cloud hanging over it. And people in the BVI are wondering whether justice will actually be served. Because you know, people with money got a different kind of justice. A different kind of justice. The boat that was involved in the accident, even before the fellow was charged, was repainted, was handed back to him, repainted and renamed. So you understand that people have very, very good suspicions whether or not Graham Stanton will ever see justice. Whether he will ever see justice. So that's one that we're watching in the BVI. Have you guys ever gone to the BVI? That's on my bucket list. I can tell you that. I want me to people like Graham Stanton. I can tell you that much. We want me to people like Graham. Moving on, folks. I almost said moving on the fight card. Look what's happening here. This gigantic, ginormous blob of seaweed, they say, is set to invade North America and the Caribbean. Look what it says. It has the width of North America. You're heading by we. That's a big blob of seaweed. Now, those of you who use seaweed for different things, y'all help us out here now. Those of you who use seaweed for all of your medicinal purposes, help me out now. You know, people eat seaweed and all of that. Yeah, help us out. A huge blob. The width of North America. All right. Naomi, you can help us out here? Rita Cummins and it. Isabella Butters, out front parts. You'll help us out here now. Please. Help us out here. Look what else we're following. Where does the time go? The time is running out over here. Running out. So you got all this seaweed banking up, heading to the Caribbean. It's one story to the next with us now. We can't catch myself. In Trinidad, they're about to inaugurate the president. who was elected quite recently. You know, the president is the ceremonial head of the state, has some real functions, but largely ceremonial head of state. The Savannah there in Port of Spain is going to come alive today, as they are going to be doing the inauguration, the inaugural events are going to be had there in Port of Spain. In Port of Spain, that's going down, folks, in Port of Spain today. Right? And while that's happening, I saw Caribbean Airlines rather, saying that they are adding more flights between Trinidad and Georgetown and Barbados and Georgetown. So that's one we're watching, right? Because easy we could be in Trinidad like that. You know, it's a 55 minutes flight to Trinidad, and it shares a lot of things in common with us. So the president-elect Christine Kangaloo is going to be sworn in today, they tell us, at Grandstand Queen's Park, Savannah, in Port of Spain. Right? And that's scheduled to go down in just a little bit, 9:30 this morning. She's going to take that oath. She's the former Senate president in Trinidad and was elected to succeed the outgoing president, Paula Mae Weeks, by the Parliament's Electoral College by a vote of 48 to 22. Right? And she's been elected since January 20th. She's going to be sworn in today. Congrats to her. Congrats to her. She seemed, an audience and out of Trinidadian politics, but she seemed to be a professional. Seems to be a professional. Appears to be professional. In the 592, congrats to the folks there at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation. In the 592, they're doing good things. You know, once in a while we get some good news coming out of the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, and we want to celebrate that. Once in a while we get some good news coming out of the 592. Once in a while. Folks, take the opportunity, if you haven't as yet, to share the light, to smash that emoji button, folks, so others get valid and credible information. Right? Kidney transplant for Warrant Officer Sherlyn Dimon. Kidney transplant. That happened at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, and the folks are saying it was a successful surgery. And we want to wish Sherlyn Dimon, GDF Warrant Officer, a speedy recovery. Want to wish him a speedy recovery. Yep. Once in a while we get some refreshing news under the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation. So we're wishing a speedy recovery to Sherlyn Dimon, and we want to say congrats to all the folks who had a role to play in this kidney transplant. They said it went well. Congrats to the personnel there at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, and we wish you guys continue to go, you know, from stride to stride and on to greater things. Yep, that's our hope. That's our hope. Because we know that when the folks down there succeed, we all succeed as a country. We all succeed as a country. So we're thankful. We're thankful. Look at us we're following, folks. Look at us we're following. The guys are rushing us by. This is just over the weekend. You know, intoxicated man was run over, they tell us. Ran over by a car. My God. No easy day. No easy day. No easy day. Ran over. Right? Kelson Ferreira. They're telling us was killed just on Saturday when a motor car ran over him while he was lying on the road in Stanley Chong on the west bank of Demerara. He was allegedly intoxicated or in an intoxicated state. Police report says the incident involved a hire car owned by Shivanan Ramkasoon of Tushen, which was being driven at the time by Christophe Polidor of Bell West. The fatal accident occurred around 22:30 hours. Kelston Ferreira. Report says he was inebriated, lying on the road, and the car ran over him. The driver's in custody, helping with police investigations. Yeah. What a sad story. What a sad story. What a sad story. Kelson Ferreira, 27 years old and gone. 27 years old and gone just like that. Thoughts and prayers were with his family. Thoughts and prayers are with his family. 27 years old. Can you imagine that? Then this other story is in Albertown, in Georgetown. So this construction worker was stabbed over the weekend by his reputed wife. You know, after an argument between the couple, he was stabbed. And reports suggest that they had a very abusive relationship. Very abusive relationship. They said the relationship had ended and he was, oh boy. The report says here that they are currently investigating the murder of, police currently investigating the murder of this 23-year-old construction worker, Ethan Hamilton, who was allegedly stabbed to death by his reputed wife in the 4th Street, Albertown, on Saturday. Right. Alian Lewis, called Dacia, is currently in police custody, and she is assisting with the investigations, they tell us. The couple shared a common law relationship and were living in a family house. Right? They occupied one of the 3 bedrooms in the upper flat with their children, according to reports. Right? The aunt of the Hamiltons said that she was in the kitchen in the building when her nephew rushed out of his bedroom holding his left abdomen. Right? And the deceased said to her, "Look what Dacia did me." Moses said she placed him to sit in the chair in the living room where she observed what appeared to be a stab wound on the left side of his abdomen. While there, she said she saw the suspect, Alian Lewis, exit the said room holding a silver knife in her hand, according to the police report. Yep. Additional reports telling us that the young man had hit her and that she was defending herself. You know, 27 years old, 23-year-old rather. Ethan Hamilton, thoughts and prayers with her family. Our thoughts and prayers go out to them. Our thoughts and prayers go out to them. Right. Look what else we're following, folks. Tomorrow is the International Day of Forests. Tomorrow is International Day of Forests, and we got quite a bit of forest coverage. We got quite a bit of forest coverage. Tomorrow is the International Day of Forests. On Friday last, the Alliance for Change had a press conference, and its parliamentarian Ricky Ramsarup spoke to this issue of International Day of Forests, and we want to share with you some of what he said on that occasion. Again, speaking to the observance of the International Day of Forests. Take a look, folks, and take a listen.
And the Alliance for Change would like to wish all a happy Day of International Forest under the theme Forest and Health, which emphasizes the close link between healthy forests and human well-being on our planet. For Guyana, forests are not only a source of economics and ecological value, but also played a vital role in supporting public health and livelihood for many communities. Our forests are also homes to countless species of flora and fauna and played a critical role in mitigating climate change by absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Trees and other vegetation in the forest provide a range of ecosystem services, including clean air, water, food, and medicine, which are essential for human health and well-being. Forest also plays a critical role in supporting sustainable development and reducing poverty in many parts of the world, including Guyana. The forest sector in Guyana provides jobs and incomes for many communities. Resources such as timber, non-timber forest products are important to the income of men, women, and communities as a whole. As we continue to work towards restoring and protecting our forests, we must recognize in particular the critical role that our indigenous people have played throughout history. We must recognize the ongoing importance of communities and local forest managers who have stewards of these precious ecosystems and generations. At the same time, forests are also vulnerable to a range of threats, including deforestation, degradation, and climate change. The impact of climate change on forests cannot be ignored. Rising temperature, changing precipitation patterns, extreme weather events have already begun to take a toll on forests, leading to increased frequency and severity of forest fires, droughts, and insect outbreaks in many parts of the world. These disturbances not only affect the health and productivity of forests, but also have a cascading effect on the broader ecosystem and human societies that rely on them. By maintaining our forests, we can avoid and mitigate some of the worst impact of climate change through the reduction of carbon emission, preservation of biodiversity, and ensuring the resilience of our ecosystems. Though many of these benefits are under increased threat from rapid mining and insufficient coherence in our national approach, recently with the new extractive industry, we have seen mangrove forests being destroyed, and as traditional mining expands, there is still no proper reforestation plan in place. We are pushing the frontier of forest destruction, and we should be mindful of the consequences. These threats not only undermine the ecological health of our forests, but also risk the public health by compromising access to critical ecosystem services, by promoting sustainable forest management practices and investing in forest restoration efforts. We can ensure that our forests continue to provide essential ecosystem services for human health and well-being. The sustainable livelihood that our forests generate should be increased and nurtured through a policy framework and enable environment based on meaningful and effective participation of indigenous and local communities. Financially, over the years, we have seen the benefit of the forest without clear cutting, and as a result of our sustainable forest management, I wish here now to acknowledge the work of the commitment of the Guyana Forest Commission staff and board. Guyana has recently obtained considerable amount of money through the Multi-Global Climate Fund. We have committed some over 700 odd million US dollars from carbon credits, and more recently, over 5 billion from the European Union. The task of rewarding standing forests is in global, but forests in themselves will not stop the climate crisis. We must all reduce our greenhouse gases. As a sitting member of parliament, I cannot overemphasize the absurdity of having the Natural Resources Sectoral Committee in parliament not functioning. As Guyanese says, you can't speak through both sides of your mouth. If indeed we are to fulfill our national and international commitments, we must engage elected officials. Natural resources are not purview only for government, but all. Guyanese have a role and must be enabled to do so. As we celebrate this year theme, Forest and Health, let us renew our commitment to safeguarding our forests and promoting sustainable forest management practices. By doing so, we can ensure that our forests continue to provide vital ecosystem services that support human health and well-being for generations to come. I intend to plant a tree under whose shade I do not expect to sit. Should be a popular refrain. Thank you very much.
So in advance, happy International Forest Day. In advance, happy International Forest Day. Can't say we didn't wish you all happy International Forest Day. And you know, this harvest tour is one of the things we are following as we wrap up on the Essequibo Coast, Region 2 rather. Over the weekend, you had in separate accidents over the weekend. About 7 cars were damaged. Y'all better slow down out there, you know. Y'all had better slow down out there. 7 vehicles in such a tiny country, and that's just in one part. You know, that's just in one region, Region 2. Y'all better slow down out there for your own good. Please and thank you. Slow down out there, good folks. For your own good. You know, one of the issues that we're following, is that of that assault last weekend, last week Friday, I think it was, on Councillor Elton McCrae. Councillor McCrae comes out of the Triumph NDC, Triumph BV, Bedford Acting, the Triumph Bedford Acting NDC, and Councillor McCrae has been very vocal on what seemed to be quite a few infractions on the part of the council and some of the councillors. Last week, Councillor McCrae was assaulted by some men. He was assaulted by some men, and he believes very strongly it was over his utterances of wrongdoing by the council. He believes it has a connection. You know, they bloodied his eyes, really rough him up, cuff him up, beat him up. Councillor McCrae is an elderly fella. You know, this elderly fella is interesting, this whole saga. And this new turn in the events there. Very, very interesting. We spoke with him quite recently, and you're going to want to tune in tonight in the ring. You are going to want to tune in tonight in the ring. His mouth was burst, the cuffs to his head, had his eyes in that condition. Right? And he believes it is all related to what he has been saying on the council. He believes that a lot of people getting exposed. A lot of situations getting exposed. And that is why we're seeing some of what we're seeing. Now, we spoke also to, quite recently, to Attorney at Law Darren Wade, who has now begun, who is continuing rather, his investigations into this matter. We spoke over the weekend with Attorney at Law Darren Wade. Right? We spoke with Attorney at Law Darren Wade. And I want to share his comments with you. But you're going to want to join, you're going to want to come in the ring tonight for the full story. You're going to want to come in the ring tonight for the full story. Here's Attorney at Law Wade, who we spoke with earlier.
I'm here this morning in solidarity with Councillor McCrae. For about a year or so now, I'm on the ground here in BV. I'm working and acquainting myself with this matter. It saddens me that a council that was voted in by the people of BV decided to fraudulently sell the land. The land was sold fraudulently. This for me is a terrible development. Mr. McCrae, who was one of the persons who had been very outspoken, was only attacked yesterday to stand up for what is right. So I think it's important for us not to stand idle by, but to stand with Councillor McCrae and all the others here in BV who has been challenging the unlawful actions of the council. You know, this type of behavior is not acceptable. You cannot rob your own people. A matter of fact, you cannot rob anyone. We all are aware that within the African community, land justice is an issue. This is a council that was elected by APM council that was elected. A council that was voted by the people of the BV, and they have acted improperly on several occasions. And this matter needs to be addressed. And it saddens me to see one of the persons who are outspoken being attacked, being beaten up. He's an elderly man. Why would you come and beat up an elderly man? To intimidate him? I came here before on several occasions. We met with the villagers, we discussed this issue and so forth. So this is known in the entire country. We recently concerning some lands in the some lands in the backlands, where Justice Gina Prasad there the other day, that was sold to John Fernandez, and then he transferred some rights, some purported rights, to some Mohammedan son. This is unacceptable. Fraud is unacceptable. I believe even if they want to sell the land, they decide to sell some lands in the village. And so why is the land belongs to the villagers? Because these are ancestral land. Then the villagers should be given an opportunity to buy these lands. And these lands should have been sold in a fair manner, a fair and transparent manner. You don't sell to you, your brother, your sister, your uncle, and everybody. This is wrong. I must call it out. I will speak to the leader of the party and ensure none of these corrupt councillors be able to go back on conversation and they put their hands up to go there because they embarrassed the party. They embarrassed all of us. This is unacceptable.
You guys are going to want to tune in tonight because we are going to continue our discussion on that very issue with Councillor McCrae and with Attorney at Law Darren Wade as well. You guys are going to want to tune in tonight in the Ring at 8 for that, folks. You're going to want to tune in. That's going to do it for us at this end. Good to have had so many of you on the live. Good to see so many of you indeed. Before you go, folks, take the opportunity to share the live. Valid, credible information. Valid, credible information. Orvin Don Cook says fraud is fraud. Glory Prager, good to have you. Annette, Maureen Williams, Dolly Anderson, Tessa Smith, and Jelly Amos. Now, if we provide valid and credible information in your estimation, you don't got to share the live. You don't got to smash the emoji button. We're going to spare you. But if you believe that we have, give us a share, guys. Give us a share. And we want to let you know, if you're looking for a good commissioner votes to affidavit or justice of the peace, Alistair Collins firm, get the answers you need, folks. With the Alistair Collins firm, as commissioner votes to affidavits and as justice of the peace, Alistair Collins provides expert guidance and support for all your documentation needs. They are open Monday through Saturday at the Callion Mall on Lamaha Street between Camp and Waterloo Streets. Right? They're available Monday through Saturday. The Callion Mall on Lamaha Street between Camp and Waterloo Streets. 649-6410, 649-6410, and 685-6448, 685-6448. We want to encourage you guys to keep us going and moving forward in the work we're doing here. Support us, partner with us via Cash App and Zelle, PayPal, MMG, MoneyGram, and Western Union as well. It all goes towards furthering the dissemination of information in this way. We want to thank you guys for joining us this morning. That is going to do it for us at this end. And we encourage you again to ensure you're tuning in the Ring tonight. Got a lot of things to say. A lot of things to say. That's going to do it for us. Good folks, that's going to do it for we. Take your time, peel your pine. Maxine Monroe, Oswald Hubbard, Fitzherbert Jarrett, thanks for being on this morning, Diane. And I see you, Yolanda Thomas, Yvette Gordon, Keith Evans, Dolly Anderson. Have a fantastic rest of the morning, folks. We're going to see you guys.